Okay, now I'm going to give you some help on the similarities paragraph. Let me refresh your memory again. What are we doing? Today, right now, we are focusing on writing a comparison contrast paper. Okay? So, I'm going to assume if you're watching this that number one, you've read the story and you took notes. Then you read and submitted your 006 intro paragraph. Okay, that was past due. Now, possibly after you saw the video for that, you are making adjustments to that and you are unsubmitting it and fixing it. Okay? But now you're ready to move on. All right? Step 3 is to watch a movie, and also, this is what you were supposed to do today, or if you were in class yesterday. Week 3, day 1, you would be filling out the similarities chart. Okay? That is in 003 new. All right? Then you would write the similarities paragraph. Okay? It's a rough draft, so don't stress out. Okay? So, I'm moving now to new 003 new, starting week 3. And we've got week 3, day 1. Watch the movie and begin analyzing it in the charts below. All right? So, number 1, you've read it. Number 2, you've written 006. Number 3, you've watched the movie. And while you watch the movie, hopefully you were able to come up with some basic similarities and differences. Oh, for instance, I see a difference in the plot. It went from blank, 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 well, let me see, a similarity. See, this is the thing. What are you going to do? Seeing differences is quite a bit easier in a way. You see the plot. Oh, that's different, possibly. Maybe the portrayal of a character is different. Maybe. Maybe it's longer or shorter. That would be a difference, right? Maybe it's different characters. That would be a difference. Maybe it's told from a different perspective. That could be a difference. But what are the similarities going to be? Well, if the plot is different, possibly a similarity could be a little bigger than the differences. See, so to get the similarities, you want to think, well, what was similar? Maybe the characters were the same, or maybe one character, maybe the main character was the same, and maybe that character acted the same. So when you're thinking about similarities, you want to think about the plot. Is the setting the same, or is it different? Is the point of view the same? So for instance, if in The Telltale Heart, you're hearing the guy's thoughts in the text, but if the movie was somebody telling the story, hey, there was this guy, that would be different. Was the conclusion similar or different? Was there suspense in both? Maybe different sources of suspense? I don't know. Was there suspense? Was the turning point the same? Was the tone the same? Was the feeling um, the reader or the viewer got the same? Was the theme the same? Was the life lesson the same? You'd have to know what that was, and you'd have to write that. Remember, don't use the word you. No you. Okay? You just write it. You don't say, for instance, the theme was you should have second chances. The theme would be people should have second chances. So you're thinking about all these things to get what's similar, okay? Then what do we have to do? Well, we watched the movie and we filled out the notes. Now it's time to write the paper, okay? So here is one way to do it. One way to do it is to come up with now your 3 or possibly 4 basic similarities. Then you would talk about how that detail impacted the reader. So I'm still filling out a chart and I'm thinking, hey, let me think. The suspense was the same. Where did we see the suspense? Possibly, if you have something big, you'd have to talk about it here. The conclusion was the same. You'd say what the conclusion was, and you'd say, how did it impact the reader? See, that's going to give you something to write about. If you say the conclusion was the same, you could tell what the conclusion was, and then say, the reader and the viewer would appreciate this kind of conclusion because it all comes together, see? Somebody reached the end of their journey, of the hero's journey. So try to write a little bit more about the similarities here so that then when you get down to here, which is write the paragraph, you know exactly what to do. Here it comes. Here is a sample basic outline similarities paragraph. Basic outline similarities paper. All right? You want an assertion. We call it a claim, a topic sentence. It doesn't matter what you call it, okay? There's several similarities between the movie and the text that make the movie just as interesting as the book. You say, hey, there's similarities. Don't use my exact words, but you can say something like this, okay? Then you're going to have one way it's the same, another way it's the same, a third way it's the same, then a concluding statement, okay? Number 1, one way in the book and the movie are same is that blank. Then you're going to say they both have the same plot. Possibly. In both, they go to the store, get mugged in the road, then go home and the bad guy gets punished. Okay? You can say that. Or you could say one way in the book, the movie, the same is blank. In the book, they do it this way, and in the movie, they do it this way. Then you do that again. The second way they're the same is blank. In both, they do whatever. Or if there's slight differences, you'd say a second way they're the same is that in the book, they do it this way. In the movie, they do it this way. And then maybe just one more sentence leading into the conclusion. A third way that they're the same is whatever, but no specifics. Then a concluding statement. People in general all love something. which is why the author and the director kept this the same. This should say these things, kept these things the same, or these aspects. So you've got, hey, there's similarities between the movie and the text. One similarity is this, another similarity is this, another similarity is this, and then you sum it all up. Okay? This needs to be at least 8 sentences. So you would say, this is one sentence, the conclusion's one sentence. Then you'd have 2 sentences here, 2 sentences here, 2 sentences here. All right? Then it might look something like this. Similarities, paragraph. All right? Notice in mine, I said the character is the same because the character is the same because Rachel is flustered and out of it. Okay? And then I say in the book, they show it this way. In the movie, they show it this way. So I chose to do this for each one of them. I talked about the book first and how they did it, and then the movie and how they did it. Okay? Oh, look, the feeling of tension we get. It's the same. Then I have in the book, where do we feel the tension? And then in the movie, where did we feel the tension? Then I have just a third way. In both, somehow we're able to forgive this character because she ultimately goes to tell the police. That's the same in both. So that was a part of the plot that was the same. And I didn't go in, again, it would have been maybe repetitive to just do book, movie, book, movie, book, movie. So in this one, this was enough. And so I just put the similarity. Then you have a concluding sentence, which just sums this up. Something like, common story components are what keep people reading or watching. Or these common elements are what make the story that, the story that you read still famous or whatever. So that's a similarities paragraph. Where am I going to write it? Am I going to turn it in? Yes, but not right now, because right now, here's what you're doing. You watch the movie. You took notes on the similarity and the differences. Then you went a little bit deeper into the similarities here, talking a little more about it. Coming up with at least 3. Okay? Then you write your paragraph right down here. Okay? Remember, you have a claim or an assertion or a topic sentence. Then you're going to have 3 pieces of evidence. Then you're going to have a conclusion. Evidence 1, evidence 2, evidence 3. Okay? So, hope that helps. That's where you should be by next class, which is tomorrow.